and a very good evening to you. Well, what a difference a year makes. Because on April the 10th, 2022, Burnley lost at Norwich. The 5th defeated 6 matches that left them entrenched in the Premier League's bottom 3 and prompted a parting of the ways with Sean Dyche. A sad end to a remarkable reign. A season that culminated in relegation. So fast forward 12 months to April the 10th, 2023. The Clarets place back in the Premier League assured. The first side to win promotion from this level with 7 games to go since the Championship's rebranding in the mid-noughties. The transformation as stunning as it was largely unexpected. Win tonight, they'll be 5 points short of being crowned champions. But they reached the second week in April having lost only twice. Once back in August, a match that many felt they deserved to win at Watford. The second league defeat, a more chastening experience at Bramall Lane. Tonight, they meet Sheffield United again. A Blade side that scored almost as many against Burnley in 90 minutes as the Clarets have conceded in the league since. An instant return to the Premier League, not on the cards for them, but finishing second to make it second time lucky most definitely is. Luton's win earlier leaves them needing a maximum 11 points from the final 7 games for promotion. After tonight, they've got 4 straight home matches. But if the expectation is that they'll be back here next season in the league, they still need to get over the line. Let's have a look at the 2 teams, starting with Burnley. Muric in goal, Roberts, Harwood-Bellis, Bayer and Matson, Cullen and Cork, Teller and Brownhill wide, and Barnes playing off Lyle Foster, the South African striker, who's making his full league debut. The bench, Taylor Vitinho, Bastian Benson, Goodmanson, Obafemi and Peacock Farrell. Sheffield United in their change kit of white shirts, black shorts, Fotheringham in goal, Ahmedodzic, Egan and Robinson, Bogle and Baldock at wing-back, Berger, Norwood and Doyle in midfield, and Jai and McBurney up top. And the Blades bench, Basham, Clark, Fleck, McAtee, Sharp, Asula and Davis. The referee tonight, Michael Salisbury, who sent off a couple of Wolves players in his last game in charge. And he gets us underway. Turf Moor at its vibrant, exuberant best. Promotion delivered. Now for the title. Tonight, the best. Meet the best of the rest. First against second, but these Blades have had Burnley's number 1s this season. Their own promotion aspirations there to be enhanced. Their own title ambitions there to be preserved. Burnley, claret and blue, kicking from left to right, defending the big Jimmy McElroy stand here at Turf Moor in this first half, but they're on the back foot. Sander Berger plays the ball down the right-hand side of the area, and McBurney drives it across. That's deflected away for an early Sheffield United corner. Alongside me, the former England defender, Mickey Gray.
Evening, Jim. Evening, everybody. Well, what a game we've got in hand tonight. Perfect conditions. The rain's been pouring down on this Turf Moor pitch. It gives Burnley, the home side, the opportunity to play that slick football like we've seen from them all season. But they are certainly started this game on the back foot, and Sheffield United are the ones in the ascendancy.
So a corner to be taken from the right flank in towards the near post. Not the best clearance. McBurney playing it back in. And the overhead kick attempt from Ahmedodzic flies over the bar. But 70 seconds in, a decent opportunity for Sheffield United.
Well, Ahmedodzic has had a real good opportunity there, Jim, albeit he's backwards towards play. He's tried the old scissor kick over the top of his head. He's just got a little bit too much contact on it. Pretty much too well. But what an opportunity. A very sharp start from the away side.
Burnley make it a long ball forward, which Nathan Teller chases, so the Blades back line can deal with that, and now they'll work it forward through the midfield, and Jai back inside the centre circle. It's chipped wide for George Baldock, who's making his 200th Blades appearance today, and he'll win the seconds as it looked as though Burnley were going to be able to get it away. And calming things down in the midfield is Doyle. Norwood back in the side tonight, working in wide towards Ahmedodzic. Ball forward from him, headed back towards the edge of his own penalty area by Bayer. And they'll get it back for Muric, the goalkeeper, who signed from Manchester City last summer. High ball forward from him, well kept in on the Burnley left-hand side. I wonder at what personal cost, though. because there's a player that is in keeping that in, collided with the hoardings, and Matson's okay, he's going to be able to continue. Burnley working up the other flank, but it will go through towards West Fodringham, away to our right-hand side. 2.5 minutes gone, Burnley 0, Sheffield United 0, and it's live and exclusive for national radio on your home with the EFL, Talksport.
Oh, lively start, Jim, from both sides. The atmosphere has now started to stoke up a little bit in this stadium. It was a little bit flat to the build-up, and it really surprised me because of what Burnley have achieved so far this season, promotion back to the Premier League and playing against a side who are really fighting for their lives to finish in that second spot. And it looks as if they're going to achieve that. But would it be great for Paul Heckingbottom and Sheffield United if they actually could do the double over Burnley, the side that have absolutely taken this league by storm this season?
Well, if they can do that and win again this evening, they will need 8 more points for promotion, a maximum of 8 more points with 6 games to go. Remember, their next 4 matches, all at home: Cardiff, Bristol City, West Brom and Preston. They're sandwiched around an FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City that will bring you live on Talksport a week on Saturday. As far as Burnley are concerned, if they win this evening, they'll need a maximum of 5 points from their last 6 games to win the title. So they could have it done in a double quick time. Win the next 3 matches, they will be champions, and after today they go to Reading and then to Rotherham. Ball's out of play for a Burnley throw, taken by Roberts, who scored the goal that sealed promotion in that win at Middlesbrough the other day. Sheffield United winning it back. Bulldog, the Greek international, playing it down towards the left-hand side, where Robinson, who scored at both ends the last time the two sides met, works it back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Sheffield United do have an Achilles heel, and it's the fact that they've struggled in the matches against the better teams of late. I mean, you can't take anything away from the outstanding performance that they gave the last time these two sides met. But they have lost 4 games in the last 8 weeks, all to top 6 opposition. And they're on the back foot now as the ball is played in towards Barnes. Little layoff for Teller, and his left-footed drive is comfortably saved by Foderingham, although the offside flag was up anyway. It'll be a free kick, which the Blades will take on the edge of their own penalty area. We're 5 minutes in and it's 0-0.
Sheffield United just have to be a little bit careful at the back in giving the ball away in silly areas, because you know the quality of Teller. When he did win that ball, he just needed to play that ball into Ashley Barnes a little bit earlier than he did. Ashley Barnes then ran into that offside position, but that's the threat that they've got. They've got the quality, they've got players who can see a pass.
This is the 3rd promotion that Ashley Barnes has won as a Burnley player. He's going to end up on just short of 300 games for the club. He will be leaving in the summer. A man who's scored 54 goals at a rate of 1 every 5 games. That doesn't sound like a great record, but what a job he has done leading the Burnley line over the years. The ball is with Robinson on the left of the 3 centre-halves for Sheffield United. Play forward towards McBurney. Harwood Bellis got there first, puts it out of play for a throw to Sheffield United.
Yeah, just touching on Ashley Barnes there, Jim, I was quite surprised at the interview he gave after the Middlesbrough game to say that he was going to be leaving the club. He's been a great stalwart for this club, hasn't he? And his goal record isn't great, but I sometimes think he's not in the team for that.
No, he's certainly a player. There are a few strikers that you probably have to judge solely on their goal-scoring record. You don't with Barnes, far from it. He offers you so much more, particularly the way that Burnley played under Sean Dyche.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, whether it was in the Championship or in the Premier League, centre-halves would look at the team sheet against Burnley and know that they were in for a fight for 90 minutes whenever Ashley Barnes played.
Egan's words a long ball over the Burnley back line. Bulldog chased it, did well to keep it in, stopped it going out of play for a goal kick. It will be a throw, which the Clarets will take in their right back position, nowhere near where the ball went out of play. In fact, by the time the throw is taken, it's 10 yards further down the touchline from Roberts than where the ball had been put out. Play one back by Sheffield United with Njai. He lost out almost immediately though to Cullen, who's had a fine season, the one-time West Ham United trainee who came here from Belgian football. Played into the penalty area for Njai, and Roberts will shepherd it back to his goalkeeper Moorage, who will be able to clear. We're 7 minutes in on Talksport, and it's 0-0. Listen to Burnley against Sheffield United in the EFL Championship is live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18+. Please drink responsibly.
Well, the way the game started, Jim, was maybe the way I expected to. Certainly from Sheffield United, we thought they'd have a high press, they'd make it difficult for Burnley to get that ball down and play the style of football that they were seeing throughout the whole of the season. And when they do win the ball back, they've been very clever. They're trying to get Norwood on the ball as quick as they possibly can and using that run from Adai seconds ago, just getting in behind the Burnley back line. If his first touch was better, it was a great opportunity.
Egan plays it ball from the back. Harwood Bellis, and then Cullen put his hands out and telling Tala that there was nobody closing him down, and the two Burnley players left it for each other for a moment. Tala, then instead of getting a first touch in, his first touch became a tackle, and he mistimed it. And it's a free kick given away for a foul on Doyle. Free kick that Robinson wants to take, but he wanted to take it from the wrong place, and the referee has just asked him to go back 4 or 5 yards or so. Plays it back for Egan. He sends a long ball spinning out towards the Sheffield United right. McBurney coming to meet it. Headed away from him. Now brought down by Brownhill. Out it goes towards Taylor on the left-hand side, who's so far in his Burnley career. Lar Foster has been playing through the middle, but is playing only off the left-hand side in a 4-3 today. He's given a free kick away there. Foster, one of the more expensive of the January acquisitions. Came off the bench to score against Wigan last month. He has started 3 games for the club, but all in cup ties, so he's making his full league debut for the Clarets today. It's been a little bit stop-start in the early stages with 9 minutes in at 0-0. Robinson, that's a terrible ball through the midfield, and it was seized upon immediately by Brownhill. Really good challenge by Norwood to win it back. Sheffield United now will bring it forward, and that was a very poor challenge. And the referee may well produce the first yellow card of the night. Harwood Bellis it was that just left something on there in the midfield. There's a free kick to Sheffield United and a yellow card.
And they're trying to get on with it. Very, very sharpish here, Jim. You could see when McBurney went to ground there, Harwood Bellis, he was always stretching to try and win that ball back. But Sheffield United wanted the play to continue. They had a great 2v1 situation down this left-hand side. And I think Michael Salisbury just blew his whistle a little bit too early there. Harwood Bellis, you're right. I think he was fortunate not to find himself in the book there, but I'm sure the next time around when he does make a bad foul, it will be there.
Baldock laying the ball in. It's headed away on the edge of the penalty area, and then Foley further clear by Brownhill, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. Vincent Kompany just acting as the ball boy for a moment. It's his birthday today, 37. Only 37. Wow. Took charge in June, the first Burnley boss from outside Great Britain and Ireland, and what a job he has done. His record, played 47, won 30, lost 3, and one of those was an FA Cup defeat, the Premier League opposition. It's just been an extraordinary season. The place has been transformed. Every aspect of it has been transformed over the last 12 months or so, as Faye's been saying. Throw taken up the Burnley right-hand side by Roberts. It's 0-0 here on Talksport. Added on by Nord and further on by Doyle, but mopping up at the back, the young German, Jordan Bayat, who's on loan from Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he steers it back for Harry Murray. 11 minutes in, Nicky. 0-0. Sheffield United have given a good account of themselves so far.
Absolutely. The away side, I think Paul Heckingbottom will be thrilled to pieces. Have to go back to that challenge, Jim. I think Harwood Bellis did actually get a yellow card, but no, Burnley have just not been able to get into the flow of things because of the high press from Sheffield United, and they are the ones who are really asking the question. I said in that midfield area with Norwood, he's always going to look for that run from Ndai, who's very clever. He's got tricky feet. You give him half a yard, he can cause problems.
Free kick won there by Jack Cork, given away by McBurney. Cork, whose father Alan made more than 60 appearances for Sheffield United. He was in the Blade side right at the start of the Premier League back in the 92-93 season.
It was a season, Jim, wasn't it? He grew his beard until they lost in the FA Cup. I think there was one year.
Yeah, when he tripped over it, it started becoming a bit of a problem. A man who's... So you think you get your hairline from your father-in-law rather than your father, which has always been, I'm sure, a matter of personal pride for Jack Cork, who's a dad by this stage of Jack's life, didn't really have too much option when he went into the Barbers. The ball is over on the left-hand side with Max. It's a good ball forward, just a little bit too long though for Foster. Fotheringham coming out as the sweeper keeper, knocks it away, and out for a throw that will be taken over on the Burnley left-hand side by Ian Matson, who is the man that scored the first goal of the season in Burnley's win at Huddersfield. I remember watching that game on the box and listening to it on Talksport 2 and being so mightily impressed as Foster's offside here for Burnley here, thinking, okay, well, I think we know who's going to win the league. And they could tell that the second of the first hour. They were brilliant, and they've been brilliant ever since.
Absolutely. No holding back from Burnley this season, without a doubt. Those defeats against Sheffield United and Watford, as you mentioned, Jim, they probably only deserved to lose the game against Sheffield United. The Watford game was a different contrast altogether.
Sander Berge, though, for Sheffield United, worked in by Bogle. Bayer can knock it away, and then Matson just leans onto it on the edge of the penalty area and does really well to chip it out with his right foot and find Barnes. He's linked up out to the left-hand touchline for Brownhill. Brownhill laying it off through the midfield for Cork. A space on the Burnley right-hand side for Roberts. Roberts with an opportunity to run at Baldock and slips it past him to Nathan Teller. Man has scored 19 goals, a very impressive loan spell from Southampton. Now out towards Matson. Matson back for Cork. Burnley with the majority of possession so far, as you would expect, but not in a position to do an awful lot with it. Sheffield United, as we've mentioned, have certainly come here with confidence that they might be able to do the double over Burnley. You get to a stage at the end of the season where Burnley have only lost 3 games, but Sheffield United have beaten them twice. That really would be a massive feather in Paul Heckingbottom and the Blades' cap. That's what they're hoping to achieve tonight. Is Bayer lays it back for Madsen, and he in turn turns it back for Ari Muric.
Well, Burnley are just, at the moment, Jim, they're playing it around at the back, albeit they've just played a long ball up front now. But, you know, they're not really doing anything with it. They're not getting anywhere. And I think Sheffield United will be pretty pleased with that, because they're just getting themselves back into position, as they're doing right now. And I think they'll be comfortable with that. When they wait for that opportunity of Burnley making a mistake with one of their passes, that's when they're in front of you. That's when they get in your face and win the ball back, and they just spring into gear.
And another free kick is given away, this one by Robinson. And it's a free kick that Burnley will have on halfway. We've got more live action for you tomorrow here on Talksport. Champions League quarter-final start. Manchester City against Bayern Munich. Well, by many is potential final before the final. And it kicks off at 8, the build-up from 7 at the Etihad tomorrow. Talksport 2 will bring you Benfica against Inter. Then Wednesday, Andy Townsend alongside me in the Bernabeu for Real Madrid against Chelsea, a week after Frank Lampard took charge. And the man who won the Champions League as a Chelsea player takes his side to face his old boss Carlo Ancelotti. Chelsea at a low ebb, but will they be able to get any form of positive result? We'll find out together Wednesday night live on Talksport from 8, and it's Milan against Napoli on Talksport 2 that night. And mixed up at the back, Teller, as he had his legs swept away from in there by Fotheringham. Referee says yes. What colour's the card going to be? Is it going to be yellow or red? He's made no attempt really to play the ball there, Fotheringham. So this could be a red card as well as the penalty. Teller capitalising on a real defensive mix-up at the back. Fotheringham came out. He was hoping to be able to pick up the ball on the edge of the penalty area. He couldn't. I think the assistant referee thinks the challenge might have been outside the penalty area, and the decision to give a penalty might yet be reversed. But I think a red card for Fotheringham is on the cards. It is, he's off. So Sheffield United are down to 10 men. Fotheringham dismissed. And they're going to have to make a substitution as well to bring on goalkeeper Davis. It's a terrible mix-up at the back between Robinson and Fotheringham. Teller took advantage of it. He linked it past the pair of them inside the penalty area. And Fotheringham making no attempt to play the ball, just stopped Teller from tapping the ball into an empty net. And from that point, the red card was going to be the inevitable result.
It's just criminal, isn't it, Jim? I mean, there's no pressure on whatsoever. I don't know why Fotheringham's actually coming out of his 18-yard box. The referee has to give him a red card. I think the next decision was, is it in the penalty area as he makes the foul? He just basically pulls hold of his shoulder and he goes to ground, but I think he's reversed his decision to give a penalty, and he's given a free kick just outside of the 18-yard box, which, when you think about it on the scale of things, is a bit of a let-off for Sheffield United. But you cannot be making silly mistakes like that. You started the game so well, now you're down to 10 men, they've had to make a change, and it's all now playing into Burnley's favour.
Well, you'd have to say that every decision that the officials have made has ended up being correct. I'm sure the contact is outside the penalty area on Nathan Tello. Seeing a replay of it now, yes, it definitely is. He fell inside the box. It was his momentum that took him there. He wasn't trying to gain an advantage by diving inside the box. Had no chance of being able to stay on his feet. He would have done if he could, because he would have had an empty net to tap the ball into. Fotheringham with a rush of blood to the head, deciding, playing the percentages, that he had to do what he did. And Sheffield United will have to make a change to bring substitute goalkeeper Adam Davis on. And it is Robinson who's involved in the mix-up who comes off. So Adam Davis, who's started 3 FA Cup ties for Sheffield United, but whose last league appearance was back in October, and the Welsh international, until the weekend, was the last man to save a penalty from Ivan Toney, has come on. So almost certainly a change of shape for Sheffield United as well, that they'll flatten off to a back 4 now that they're a man light, and that's why Robinson is the player that's made way. And play will restart with the 10 men of Sheffield United having a free kick to defend right on the right-hand side of the penalty area.
Well, I mean, going back to the foul, Jim, as well there, I mean, Jack Robinson looks as if he's in control. I don't actually know why Fotheringham has come out of his 18-yard box to clear his lines. There's no need for him to do that.
So what can Burnley muster from this free kick? It's left-footed, it's whacked inside the penalty area and headed over the bar from only about 3 yards out. Glorious opportunity. I don't think Foster can believe that he hasn't scored.
What a chance. It's a great ball into the area, I have to say, and you just need to be brave, you need to be stronger than your marker. In this situation, Foster certainly is that. It's like he takes his eyes off the ball. I don't think he really makes contact with his head. It more so comes off his shoulder. But what a chance.
It's taking a touch of a Sheffield United player on its way through. It will be a corner, which will be taken on the Burnley right-hand side. It's their first of the game. It's taken short to Roberts. Roberts then back for Maatsen, who's low. A ball inside the penalty area is headed away. Comes back down for Roberts again. Roberts now towards Maatsen, hooking it in this time with his left foot. It's a nice shape on that ball, but he didn't quite have the height that he wanted, and Sheffield United will whack it clear with Doyle just to get it upfield and give them a chance to reset. So they're looking at the back line. They have flattened off to a 4. They've got George Baldock now playing at left back in a 4. Ahmed Odzic alongside Egan as the centre-half pairing. They will be able to bring it forward here with Njai. And Jai popping it off Doyle in the midfield, now towards Bogle on the right-hand side. We're 20 minutes in. It's Burnley 0, 10-man Sheffield United 0.
And what we don't want to see now is Sheffield United basically just sitting back and soaking up pressure for the remainder of this game, Jim, because as a spectacle so far, it's been very entertaining, very exciting. Sheffield United really trying to take the game to Burnley, albeit nobody scored a goal yet, but I think more of the opportunities are now going to come from a Burnley perspective. But this has certainly made their job a lot easier this evening. 70 minutes, I think, that looks like Sheffield United are going to have to play with 10 men, making those changes. You hope that they adapt into this game as quick as they possibly can, but there's going to be, as the game goes on, there's going to be so much space and time for the way that Burnley play for them to capitalise on Sheffield United down to 10 men now.
Burnley, remember, unbeaten at home in 23 games in all competitions, 17 wins and 6 draws this season. Their next goal will be their 50th here at Turf Moor in this campaign. They are the side with the best attack and the best defensive record in the Championship this season. The Blades, the third best attack and the second best defensive record. But the Sheffield United defensive record is going to come under a pretty stringent examination over the next 70 minutes or so. Fotheringham sent off on 16, it's 0-0.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult now, and I think they're just going to wait for the opportunities. Burnley, they will start to find the gaps, and what we want to try and find from Sheffield United is it's going to be a bit of brilliance, or it's going to be a set piece. We know they're strong at set pieces, but when they get the opportunity to put that ball in the box, they've got to make it count.
I was talking to Talksport commentator Nigel Aberley, who called the first game between these two, and he said it was simply Sheffield United's ability and aerial prowess from set pieces that got the job done. The last time the two sides met, it was a game that Burnley led twice and ended up losing 5-2. So from that point of view, moments like this, where a free kick has been given away by Ashley Barnes, could prove absolutely integral to Sheffield United hopes tonight. Doyle's going to take it. Norwood runs over it. Doyle will sweep it in, right-footed, far too close to the goalkeeper. I don't think that McBurney was anticipating that. He'd made the run, but the ball probably delivered 5 yards too close to goalkeeper Muric, who could catch it very comfortably and bowl it out for Jack Cork to get Burnley going again.
And those are the moments. Talked about set pieces and how important they can be for Sheffield United, certainly in this game now this evening, down to 10 men. It has to be better than that from Doyle. He's tried to whip it in with too much pace, but he's just whipped it too close to Muric in that Burnley goal. It was a simple catch from him, and then it gives Burnley the opportunity then to maybe put 25, 30 passes together. And when you're down to 10 men, Jim, as I've been certain times in my career, it's very, very hard.
Harbour Bellis to Muric. Bayer chipped under a little bit of pressure down towards the right-hand side for Cullen. Now Burnley will bring it forward with Roberts. It's just a measured build-up from them at the moment. A night that the rain has abated, but the blustery wind is continuing to cause a few problems. Maybe that had a part to play as well in that Doyle free kick that just caught the wind and swept it in towards the goalkeeper. At the other end, it's Egan that knocks it away, but Brownhill can pick it up on the Burnley left-hand side. It's not too far adrift at the edge of the Blades box as he plays it back through the midfield. Harwood Bellis has it now. One man alone from Manchester City, swung down towards the Burnley right-hand side here for Roberts. Roberts just a yard or so in from the right touchline, laying it back for Nathan Teller. Teller to Cullen. Harwood Bellis swerving one through the midfield out towards Maatsen. Maatsen's first touch not the best, but he was just wrestled back there by Bogle, and the free kick has gone Burnley's way, about 15 yards or so outside the Sheffield United penalty area. They look to take a lot of free kicks quickly, not that one, and in fact the two Burnley players standing over the free kick are turning and looking for instruction from Vincent Kompany about exactly what should happen next. He's flashed in towards the right-hand side of the box for Roberts. Roberts has got 3 targets in there. Played in towards Teller. Teller straight back from whence it came. Roberts with the layoff. Cullen with a little give and go with Nathan Teller. Back it goes for Cullen again. Teller makes a run down towards the corner flag. Roberts just for a moment used him as the decoy, but then stopped and turned and played it to the young winger. Back it goes towards Harwood Bellis. Burnley with a measured build-up, which is a real hallmark of their game. Bayer's done well. Good layoff from him, and Teller drives it in and wins the corner.
Well, they're making the pitch so wide now, Burnley. Whether it's Roberts and Teller over on this right-hand side and Maatsen over on that left-hand side. And they're not frightened just to keep hold of the ball, wait for their opportunity. This time they worked it really well again down this right-hand side. And Teller's quality's just got to be better. He looks for that little half a yard just in behind Sheffield United's back line. Unfortunately this time didn't get it right, but gives his side another chance with a corner. And this is where Burnley will try and get themselves on the end. If they can get themselves in front, Jim, early now in this game, they're going to make it so difficult for Sheffield United.
Brownhill's taken it short. And now it goes back towards Teller again. Work round the corner for Brownhill. Low ball fizzed in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Half cleared. Maatsen with a shot. That was blocked. Then it goes through a crowd of players. And Davis, the substitute goalkeeper, can make a comfortable save. But it is one-way traffic, as you might expect, with Burnley having this numerical advantage.
Yeah, it's so difficult for them because full-backs are going out to press the wide player. Then you've got the overlapping run of Connor Roberts on this right-hand side. Eventually, when that ball does come to the edge of the 18-yard area, falls to Jack Cork, not known for a lot of goals, but it was a great opportunity. Just needed better contact with it. It was a simple save in the end for Adam Davies. A nice early touch for the goalkeeper just coming off the bench.
Well, it's a day that's seen plenty of thrilling action. A great weekend of EFL action. Luton have consolidated third spot in the Championship today. Middlesbrough came back from 2-0 down, but were still held at Bristol City. Preston got a stoppage time winner that moved them within goal difference of a playoff place. Bottom three in the Championship all lost. QPR drew at West Brom, having been 2 down, to move themselves 2 points clear of the drop zone. Action as well in League One. Sheffield Wednesday went back to the top by beating Accrington. Plymouth lost at home to Lincoln. Ipswich finally conceded a goal, were held at Cheltenham. Forest Green now in a position where they need to win their last 5 games to stand any chance at all of staying up. Burnley will bring the ball forward again with Roberts. Roberts back towards halfway. Jack Cork's got it. He's inside the centre circle. Played by him to his left-hand side, Bayer. Well, Germany's so good in possession, the centre-half. What an acquisition he has been. Although from Borussia Mönchengladbach, Teller was fouled. Ball swept in there, inside the penalty area by Roberts. And again, the referee very quick to put the whistle to the mouth. And Roberts wasn't happy with that. He felt that the advantage should have been played and that the subsequent yellow card, which has been shown, I think, to John Egan, might have been delayed. It was a poor challenge and it was worthy of a yellow card, but Burnley in a great position there. Had Roberts' cross been allowed to stand. As it is, it's a free kick just by the corner of the box. I mean, challenges like that, Jimmy, just wonder what's going through John Egan's mind, because the player's in between him and the ball. He's not going to win it. You've just got to stand your ground at times, because Teller's just going to wait for that contact. There was a big, strong physical challenge from Egan, but the last thing that they need to do is make silly fouls and find themselves down to 9 men. 28 minutes in, 0-0. Leeds keeper Fotheringham sent off. Brownhill with the free kick, in with real pace, and by the time it got to the man at the far post, it sort of cannoned back off Jack Cork and to safety. There's nothing. It was Bayer, I beg your pardon, at the far post, and there's nothing that he could do really. I'm fair to say that Adam Davies is going to be in absolutely no hurry to restart play away to our right-hand side. Well, the Blades finished 5th last season. They lost in the playoff semi-final to Nottingham Forest. But in their last spell in the Championship, they did finish 2nd in their 2nd season and won promotion back to the Premier League. That's what I'm hoping to replicate this time around. Still mathematically do have a chance of winning it. Remember, if Burnley win tonight, they would only need 5 points from the last 6 games to win the title. If the Blades can hang on doggedly here, get a draw, then Burnley would still need 8 potentially. Blades win, and the Clarets might still need 11. So plenty to play for. The most important thing as far as Sheffield United are concerned, though, is the gap between themselves and 3rd place Luton. Norwood heading the ball forward, straight out of play, and it's a throw which will be taken on the Burnley left. Mention what happened in the Championship and League One earlier today, as the ball is just thrown back to the goalkeeper there, and he missed it, Muric, but it wasn't a Peter Enkelman moment from all of those years ago.
Well, I haven't watched Burnley a lot this season, Jim. I think Muric wants to play out. I think he wants to be that sweeper keeper. He gets involved in the play quite a lot, but it's certainly something that Vincent Kompany's said to his goalkeeper, look, I want you to play. We're going to start playing out from the back. You need to be comfortable with your feet. Well, on this occasion, I think he just took his eye off the ball a little bit. It's a good job it's a little bit windy out there.
Barnes laying it back for Roberts. First time ball in from him, fizzed in towards the near post because it took a deflection off Baldock, but Davies can make a comfortable save. In League 2 earlier, leaders Orient held by Harrogate. Northampton moved up to 2nd, Stockport up to 3rd. Rochdale 6 points adrift of safety, but they got a good draw at Mansfield today. Hartlepool moved out of the bottom 2. They held Stevenage, and Crawley were thumped at Barrow. And that game at the top of the National League, an extraordinary affair. Wrexham beating Notts County 3-2. Ben Foster saving a stoppage time penalty, and he's 7 points in the last 4 games to get promoted back to the league. Meanwhile, Scunthorpe, not that far away from getting to the Championship only 6 years ago, relegated to Division 6 and the National League North. where, amongst other teams next season, they'll be playing South Shields, who got promoted today.
Thrilled to pieces, my old teammate Kevin Phillips, been there for a couple of seasons now. I'm really pleased for him. I sent him a message before, still waiting for him to reply to me, Jim, I'll be honest with you, but it's going to be fantastic for South Shields next season.
That's probably a bit early for you to ask him for a job, just straight on the back of the game. The ball is with Roberts, who will bring it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. It's 0-0 here at Turf Moor. Little layoff towards Jack Cork. Cork playing it out towards the Burnley left-hand side. An opportunity to try and swing it in the penalty area. Brownhill thought better of it and worked it back for Cork instead. Cullen sending it wide to the Burnley left-hand side for the Dutchman Matson, on loan from Chelsea, another who's had an excellent season for Vincent Kompany. The talent spotting in the acquisition for Burnley has been nothing short of sensational. And they had 29 players leave in the summer. Hope, Collins, Cornet and McNeil all sold for a combined £68 million. They've only spent just over half of that, so they've got a net transfer surplus of around £30 million. They brought some great players in. Foster, one of the January signings, just caught offside there. It's a free kick which will be taken by Sheffield United on the edge of their own penalty area. 0-0.
Yeah, it's a fantastic job what Vincent Kompany's done. The recruitment's been excellent. But he's going to have to do it all again, Jim, and now they've obviously succeeded in getting promoted back to the Premier League. I wonder if that work's actually started already, because the one that springs off the page to me is Nathan Teller, because he's in a bit of a predicament, isn't he? Because if Southampton look as if they're going to get relegated, does he go back to his parent club? Or do Burnley try and do something about it and keep him here? Because, as you mentioned before, he's had a brilliant season here.
He's just won a free kick as well, Nathan Teller. 19 goals. He'd only scored 2 before this season in his career. He's got 19 here in 42 games. 10 of those have come in the last 13 matches with a couple of hat-tricks. One against Preston here, one at Hull as well. Here's Roberts. Played through the midfield. Barnes laying it off, but not with the accuracy that was needed for Teller. And the ball is whacked away by Dorr, and literally just whacked upfield to give the defence a little breather. Nothing more than that.
It's all they can do, isn't it, Jim? It's so difficult for Sheffield United now to play out from the back. They're just looking for that long ball, whether it's to McBurney or Ndiaye. I think what they've got to try and do is they just maybe got to leave just one up on his own.
Baldock sweeps, gets it away. Play forward by McBurney. McBurney is the man that will just drop in that little bit deeper, but they are at times still playing 4-3-2. Sheffield United. It's played out towards the right-hand side for Burnley, and Robertson will bring it forward. Teller's got it near the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed cross from him. Oh, diving header, it flicked back inside the area, and Barnes' eyes lit up for a moment. Couldn't do anything with it. Then as Roberts tries to head it forward, he claims that he was fouled by Doyle, and there are a few words between the pair of them as well. The referee said no. Play goes on. Burnley have it on the left. They go back into centre field for Harwood Bellis. And he will emerge from out of the centre circle and pop it off to his right-hand side for Teller. Good return ball from Connor Roberts back into his path, deflected in. Foster going up for it. Brownhill with an effort that is blocked, and Sanderberg is going to be able to get it away. Not too far though. Jack Cork, sorry Nick, as Burnley will bring it forward again with Roberts coming from right back into inside left channel for a moment. Another opportunity for Burnley to get it forward. Another good ball which the retreating Teller can bring under control. Roberts making a darting run down towards the right-hand side. Wanted the ball to be played early, but Burnley again taking a slightly more conservative route. Go back for Byron, then Harwood Bellis again.
Well, going back to the two opportunities, I think they're just waiting for something to fall perfectly for them in the 18-yard box. The first one, Ashley Barnes, it looked as if he was getting in behind the back line of Sheffield United. But then that chance from Foster, it's kind of, he leaped before the ball was actually coming down from out the sky.
Harwood Bellis. That's deflected off McBurney. Might break Barnes' way inside the penalty area. Regan, who will relish the physical confrontation of a battle with Ashley Barnes more than many other centre-halves would have done over the years. And he just eased him under the flight of that. And it goes through for Adam Davis, the substitute goalkeeper. And we're 9 minutes from half-time. And the 10-man Blades have protected Davis and his goal pretty well so far.
Yeah, they have. I think Paul will be really pleased because there haven't really been too many great opportunities for Burnley, and I think that's down some testament to the way that Sheffield United have had to set themselves up. When they lose the ball, get everybody behind it, make it difficult. But the big problem they're going to have for the remainder of the game, Jim, is the outlet ball.
Egan goes back for his goalkeeper. Davis gets it away. Now when Sheffield United do play it forward, as they have done there, it's so easy for Burnley to win it back from Njai, and then inevitably Burnley will just mount another phase of attacking plays. They do here with Barnes with the layoff, but Egan's going to be able to deal with that one.
Yeah, and that's the difficult thing when you go down to 10 men of what system and what style of play you're going to play. I think they'd actually be better leaving McBurney up front. He's a big, strong, physical guy. He can hold the ball up and maybe just play and die just off him in that 10 position, if you like. Because at the moment, they're panicking a little bit. Yes, they're defending very well, but they're just clearing the lines. And then it's attack after attack after attack from Burnley, albeit they've not really created too many chances with having that extra man.
Sheffield United have a free kick. Egan waving everybody forward, and that's just a little delaying tactic as much as anything else. Takes the free kick. McBurney looking for another one further upfield, went to ground, didn't get it, and Jai with very good quick feet. He's danced his way past Cullen in the midfield, and then Teller's challenge, and pops it off for Ahmed Odzic, who's going to have to go back under pressure from Teller all the way back for his goalkeeper. It was brilliant ball retention from Njai in the congested, frenetic central midfield area. Baldock's got it now. Great crossfield ball from him. Brought down by Bogle. Sander Berger making a reverse run. And Njai trying to get forward in the middle. McBurney's unmarked to the far post. Swept in towards Njai. Couldn't sort his feet out. Poor clearance from Harwood Bellis. Bogle will seize upon that. Has he won a corner? No, he hasn't. Just tripped over the ball and tapped it out of play himself. But if Sheffield United are going to find a way through from open play, it's going to be moments like that, breaking quickly, and somehow they ended up with a numerical advantage.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's that super crossfield pass initially, wasn't it, to Berg over on the right-hand side. I thought he was going to try and take his full-back on. He gets a ball out of his feet, puts a very good ball into the area, and Jai, he actually gets in front of his marker, hands on head, because I think he just needed to make better contact with it.
Muric getting the ball clear towards halfway. Barnes coming to meet it. Egan has just given him a shove, and it's a Burnley free kick. Well, they've taken it quickly. The dark-haired Cullen playing it forward for Roberts. Now Cork laying it off to his left-hand side. Bayer getting it forward. Little layoff involving Maatsen, who found himself as the most advanced of the Burnley players for a moment. Then one back well, and it's cleared by Norwood straight into Maatsen on the edge of the penalty area, and he's gone down hurt. It's going to be a Burnley throw to restart play over on the far touchline, which Brownhill will take. But Norwood really clattered that straight at Maatsen from close range.
Yeah, that was some challenge, that from Norwood. Sheffield United again, just trying to play out from the back. They can't do that when Burnley are in the ascendancy, but Maatsen, as he goes in to try and win that ball, it's the follow-through. It's nasty, I have to say, from Norwood. I mean, he wins the ball clearly, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Maatsen tries to pull out of it a little bit, just catches him on that knee. Never nice, certainly on an evening like this as well.
See a challenge like that makes me think of Stuart Pearce, who's working with Sam Matterface tomorrow. It's good to hear Stuart this morning verbally sparring with Simon Jordan. I know he relishes the opportunity to lay down the law. And on the Jim White show this morning, a very entertaining listen. Jim back tomorrow with Simon. White and Jordan returning from 10. Stuart, meanwhile, on breakfast tomorrow. Laura Woods and Ray Parler at the helm from 6. Former West Ham striker Carlton Cole joining them at 8. And Stuart will be looking ahead to Manchester City against Bayern Munich, which is our live game here on Talksport this time tomorrow in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final. Benfica against Inter over on Talksport 2 tomorrow. A reminder, Chelsea go to Real Madrid Wednesday at 8 o'clock on Talksport. The next action for the Championship, the next game in the Championship, is Middlesbrough-Norwich. It's Friday night at 8. Borough just 1 point from the last 3 games, which came today, but a win will take them up to 3rd in that game. Norwich, on the other hand, will go into the top 5 if they win. And it's live from Teesside, Friday night, 8 o'clock on Talksport 2. Now, Maatsen's okay. He's received a little bit of treatment. This first half is going to be elongated by a good few minutes because of that, and also the Fotheringham red card and that whole incident. Now, we've got 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in the first half. The play restarting with a throw. Sheffield United tried to make something of it in the midfield with McBurney, and then players from both sides going down all over the place, and Norwood helping Barnes back to his feet, having fouled him. And it's a free kick that Burnley are going to take in a position left of centre, about 12 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, these are the big opportunities. Certainly in the Championship, I talk about this a lot, corners and free kicks that you can put danger into the opposition's half, into their 18-yard box. Think about it, Jim. Sheffield United have had the same amount of shots as Burnley in this first half, albeit Burnley have hit the target on one occasion, but you expect more.
Roberts, high ball in from Cullen, and it's beaten everybody and gone out of play for a goal kick. When you consider there were just like 7 goals the last time the two sides met, so far just one shot on target between the two teams.
It's a little bit flat in front of goal, isn't it? Whether Friday evening's taken it out of these two sides, just not showing that quality that we certainly expect from a Burnley side who've scored so many goals this season. And there's no doubt it's become more difficult for Sheffield United going down to 10 men. But Ndai looks as if he's the one who could break the deadlock with the great feet that he's got, super ability he showed a few minutes ago as well. But it's going to take a bit of brilliance like that if they're going to do so.
Bulldog heading the ball forward for Sheffield United. Straight to Connor Roberts, the former Swansea man, bringing it forward towards halfway. Cullen makes a run to his right and he's played in. Cullen then chipping it forward, trying to get it over Bulldog, but it just stood up a little bit too much and Nathan Teller couldn't get to it. Teller now will be able to pick up the second ball about 15 yards outside the area, links up with Barnes and then Roberts, and it's played back for Harwood Bellis inside his own half. It's 0-0 on Talksport with 2 minutes to go to half-time. Sheffield United have been down to 10 men since the 16th minute when goalkeeper Wes Fodringham was sent off for a foul on Teller outside the area, denying an obvious goal-scoring chance. Berger is there as Barnes tried to get it on the edge of the penalty area. And then Bayer at the other end is there to mop up away from McBurney and play it back to his goalkeeper.
Good defending from Bayer, knowing exactly where McBurney was. In a foot race, I think you'd favour the centre half.
Roberts sweeping a long ball out towards the Burnley left-hand side. Brownhill backpedaling, controls it. Right-footed ball clicked in, it's back to Roberts. Good 1-2 that from one length of the side of the pitch to the other, and then as he whips it in, just a little bit too heavy for Barnes, and Brownhill couldn't get there, coming in at the far post. It's out of play for a goal kick. Sheffield United not that far now from getting in at half-time with the clean sheet still intact, and that will be to their credit because Davis hasn't had a save to make since coming on.
He absolutely has not. If I'm Connor Roberts and I put a ball into the box like that, he turned his back and just walked back into his position. I'd have been asking the question to my two forward players, Lyle Foster and Ashley Barnes, to say, look, I've just put an amazing ball into the box. Is there any chance you can actually get on the end of it? Because that's the super ball that you're waiting for as a forward player.
Burnley will bring it forward again. Down the right-hand touchline at 0-0. Nathan Teller in possession. Teller inside the centre circle for Cork. Cork to Ian Madsen. Fourth official over on the far touchline has the numbers board. We'll find out very shortly how many extra minutes are going to be added. I would imagine it's going to be at least 4. Oh, only 3. Just 3 minutes of time at the end of this first half. There was at least a 4-minute hiatus when Fodringham got sent off. Here's Roberts, bring the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Made for the return ball from Cork, but it was cleared by Baldock out towards the far touchline where McBurney will go up for it. Bayer followed him every step of the way and beat him. And then Maxson will pick up the loose ball on the halfway line and will bring Burnley forward again. To his right-hand side is Roberts. Barnes making an early run. Ball had to be played early to try and find him. It wasn't. It's popped off towards Teller. Teller, though, darting inside the penalty area. Now he fists it in, and a header goes narrowly wide. Jack Cork coming onto it, couldn't hit the target.
Yeah, good play again from Burnley. Again, they've worked it really well down this right-hand side. I always think when those little floaty balls into the area and you've got a midfield runner running onto the end of it, in Jack Cork in this case, you've got to try and use the leverage of your neck to try and get some power in that header. It's always difficult from that far out. And again, it's another opportunity where Burnley have missed the target. I do go back to Paul Heckingbottom. Camera in front of us right now was panning on Paul. I think we'll get in at half-time if it does stay the way it is, Jim. I think he'd be thrilled.
Well, it's a Burnley side that have not struggled for goals. Defensively, they've been so good. They've only let in 7 in this 19-match unbeaten league run. Sheffield United scored 5 against them in the game before that. It's the only defeat that Burnley have suffered in the league in the last 36 games. But 0-0 approaching half-time in this one. Court sending it wide for Nathan Teller again, who stretches out a left leg to bring the ball under control, and he's gliding inside the penalty area. Oh, good check back, gets away from Bulldog. Cullen helping it in, just too high for Foster, got his head to it but couldn't steer it towards goal. Matson coming in behind him, lays it off for Brownhill. Brownhill tries a reverse ball down the line for Matson again, I beg your pardon. The shot for handball, very optimistic. I was never going to be given. Still Burnley have it. Bayer coming onto it. Let's fly! And it's tipped over the bar by Davis. Corner.
What a strike. Did not see that coming. I have to say, I'm just waiting for another ball getting floated into the area. But as that ball comes out to Bayer, who's had a very good first half, he tries to curl it into the top corner. Gets that bit wrong, goes through the middle, but what a chance.
Corner taken quickly because time's against Burnley. To work short again. Josh Cullen's got it. Cullen square to his left-hand side. Roberts clipping it in. Teller will control it. Right-hand side of the penalty area. Faced up by Bogle this time. Just pops it off the edge of the box. Matson urged to shoot. Man scored 4 goals this season. Looping header comes back in from Manson's cross towards the far side. I think Barnes was offside anyway. And the referee says no time to take the free kick. 0-0 at the break. Sheffield United down to 10 men after the early dismissal of goalkeeper Wes Foderingham. So they will be much the happier with the state of play. Burnley 0, 10-man Sheffield United 0. Faye, thank you very much indeed. Sheffield United out first. As you mentioned, Michael Salisbury just puts the ball down on the centre spot. He sent off 3 players in his last 3 halves of football. Been no complaints though for Wes Foderingham for the dismissal that he had in the opening quarter of this game. I think there'll be a few complaints from Vincent Kompany though, who will be frustrated that his side weren't able to display anything like the cutting edge that has propelled them back into the Premier League. It's not quite been a listless performance from them. They're playing against a very good team, and one with the second best defensive record in the division. But I think that everybody would have expected that they would have shown more of a cutting edge, particularly once the game became 11 against 10. And to that end, a change is being made. In fact, a double change I think is going to be made by Burnley. Goodmanson is going to come on to replace Cork. So that'll be the first change. And the second change will see Foster replaced by Benson. So Manuel Benson coming on, and you have the Goodmanson coming on as well, Nick.
Just to give them that little bit more life, I think, certainly in those final third positions, Jim. I expected him to make changes, Vincent Kompany, in the second half. He's done that, but as you mentioned there, I still want to see more from Burnley in the second 45.
So we're back underway. Burnley, claret and blue shirts and white shorts, champions-elect of the Championship, having already won promotion with 7 games to spare, but only champions-elect at the moment. And will they be able to turn 1 point into 3 in this second half and move within 5 points of the title they last won back in 2016 in their last attempt to try and win it. There aren't too many sides that win back-to-back championship titles and are crowned in 2 successive seasons that they played at this level. Burnley now promoted in each of their last 3 championship seasons, because they went up in 2014 as well, where they finished second. Got a free kick to defend here, which is propelled forward by Norwood. It misses everybody, will roll down towards the corner flag, and the way that Roberts scampered after it, he must have thought that he just got a little touch to that, must have taken a brush off his head. He clears it into McBurney, and it goes out of play for a throw that Roberts takes quickly, but for Muric, who really didn't want it at that pace, with Njai bearing down on him, but he could play it out towards Matson down towards Teller, who's on the left flank now for Burnley after the changes that were made. And Goodmanson linking up the play, goes back for Ian Matson again, and Matson inside the centre circle will play it out to the Burnley right-hand side for Harwood Bellis. He can venture forward. He sees Barnes in potentially an offside position. Barnes tells him to work the ball out towards the right-hand side, and he did exactly that. And it's fizzed in towards the near post, but Barnes couldn't get there on the end of Benson's cross. Clear back out for Harwood Bellis again. Albert Bellis back towards Benson in his black gloves and his yellow boots. Gets to the corner of the penalty area, dispenses with the ball. Good, clever football from Burnley in towards the near post. Roberts, and then Barnes chasing a lost course, thought he'd won a corner, but it has gone out of play for a goal kick. 2 minutes into the second half. You win Talksport, your home of the EFL. It's Burnley 0, 10-man Sheffield United 0.
And look who's there, back defending for Sheffield United. Ollie McBurney helping out, shielding that ball out of play from Ashley Barnes, but I do like the start with Manuel Benson over on that right-hand side. They're getting him involved in the game very, very quickly, just coming off on the field at half-time. But he can go either way with his right foot, and that left foot's got that trickery. And you can see why Teller's moved over to this left-hand side, because it really happened for him that first 45 minutes. But they'll be expecting the two wide players to come up with the goods in this second 45.
So we're almost playing a 4-1-4-1 now, Burnley, with Cullen anchoring the midfield in front of a back four of Roberts, Harwood, Bellis, Byer and Matson. And then they've got Teller on the left-hand side and Benson on the right, but they will push forward. Brownhill alongside Goodmanson in central midfield and Ashley Barnes, the leader of the line. But Goodmanson will get forward in an advanced number 10 role and will often play almost off the shoulder of Barnes, almost as a 4-4-2. In Sheffield United bringing it forward again with Sander Berger. Good footwork from him. He'll take it down towards the corner flag. He's done well to wrap his right foot around it and get the cross in, but Burnley are going to be able to work it away. Talavo tucked it out of play for a throw. Sheffield United lining up Davis, the substitute goalkeeper, in goal. Bogle, Armadodzic, Egan and Baldock are back four. Berger, Norwood and Doyle in midfield. And Jai and McBurney are front two. And Paul Heckingbottom persisting with this 4-3-2 formation. Just joining us, Wes Fodringham, the Leeds goalkeeper, who was shown a red card after the full-time whistle of the game against Blackpool earlier this season. Set off much earlier tonight, 16 minutes in, for a foul outside the penalty area on Nathan Teller. And had he not fouled him, Teller would have been able to tap the ball from a tight angle into an empty net. It is Burnley 0, Sheffield United 0. First against second in the Championship. Ball thrown at the left-hand touchline. Sheffield United winning it back with Berger. Bogle has stayed down with a head injury. Play will continue. And Jai trying to wrestle the ball through inside the penalty area. Couldn't quite manage that. Benson lays it back. Ball through the midfield was a good one from Burnley. Goodmanson's first touch was good enough for him to be able to work it back to Cullen with his second. Now Matson and Teller will be able to combine down the Burnley left-hand side. Teller onto his right foot, knocks the ball across the edge of the penalty area. Helped by Roberts, back out towards Manuel Benson. Roberts has it again. Oh, good ball through inside the penalty area. Brownhill making a run that split the lines for a moment, and a left-footed shot goes only into the side netting from Benson. And there were a few on this side of the ground that thought it was in. Davis was at full stretch and was beaten, but the ball went just the wrong side of the post from a Burnley perspective. 0-0.
And they're breaking from their own half, Burnley. Lovely play down the left-hand side with Matson, Teller. Eventually that ball gets switched over to the right-hand side, and Manuel Benson, yet again, he's making things happen, whether it's with his right foot putting the ball into the area. This time he's just patient. He works that ball onto his left foot. Super strike. Keeps it nice and low. And you heard the cheers. You could see the side net and just rustle a little bit. But he's got talent, this young man. I'm surprised he doesn't play more. Certainly over the last few weeks. Seems to be Vincent Company likes to bring him off the bench, but he's real talent.
Yeah, he scored at Sheffield United when the two sides last met. He had a hand in the first one as well, the Robinson own goal that night. But he hasn't scored since he netted a brace against Bournemouth in the FA Cup. And has been, as you say, Mick, used as a substitute much more often than not. He's down injured now inside the centre circle, but he's a real box of tricks. You sense that sometimes, perhaps, and I don't mean this unkindly, that he's not quite sure where the ball's going to go next, but on that basis, the defenders certainly don't know where the ball's going to go next.
Absolutely. I think it was yourself, Jim. I remember having a conversation at the beginning of the season and asking about Manuel Benson, because I hadn't seen too much of him. And I said he's got that low centre of gravity. He's kind of like a little Messi, if you like, where he can go either way, but he's got wonderful feet. Look, he's came up with quite a lot of goals this season and certainly a lot of assists, and he excites people. But I think there's certain times in the Championship where maybe Vincent Company's looked at him and thought, this is a player that I can't play every single week, because when we need to defend at times, he's not that type of person. He's kind of your go-to man. He wouldn't be that player.
But this situation might be tailor-made for him against a side who, through necessity, through a lack of possession and a lack of playing numbers, with them being a man light, Benson might not have too much defending to do tonight. Burnley hand the ball with Bayer. It's played down towards Nathan Teller on the left-hand touchline. Teller back for Maatsen. Maatsen to Bayer again. Bayer working it back out towards Benson, who's okay after that treatment that he picked up. And here is the young Belgian winger taking it on inside the penalty area, trying to get around the back of Bulldog. Has he won a corner? Yes, he has.
Great play. Absolutely brilliant play from Manuel Benson, not giving it up. It looked as if he'd lost the ball there, but just tried to run around his marker just to try and get any little nick, and that's exactly what's happened. Well, I think Vincent Kompany will be so impressed with the start that he's made after bringing him off the bench.
Yeah, his presence forced Bulldog to play that, and couldn't risk Benson being able to keep it in and hook his right foot and flick it inside the 6-yard box. So the ball's gone out of play for a corner. It's the first that Burnley have had second half. Left-footed in-swinging delivery, and Harwood Bellis came to meet it and was probably a fraction of an inch away from being able to make contact and steer a header into the net.
That's a massive chance. Probably the best opportunity that Burnley have had, and I think he's got to do better. Nobody really marking him. He gets away from his marker, Harwood Bellis. It's as if he's closed his eyes as that ball's coming into the 6-yard area. Nobody within 3 or 4 yards of him. You've got to hit the target.
You're listening to Burnley against Sheffield United in the EFL Championship. It's live on Talksport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. 0-0 the score. As first meets second in the championship. Taken down the right-hand side by Bogle. The ball has beaten him and gone out of play. As I mentioned, the next game in the championship is Middlesbrough against Norwich. It's Friday night, and we will bring it to you live on Talksport 2. Borough's game after that, as they try and get back into the automatic promotion picture, is at home to Hull. That's a week Wednesday. We've got that one live for you as well. The unfolding EFL story will be live across Talksport and Talksport 2 between now and the end of the season. Another season in which we will bring you the thick end of 500 live games across the network. Ahmedhodzic back inside his own half for John Egan. And Egan controls it and plays it back for Davis again. Long right-footed ball, a chip forward from him. McBurney with an awkward piece of control. It's just bobbled off his thigh and back inside his own half. Teller tried to take it on, couldn't do so. Ahmedhodzic, who's had an impressive season, finds Sanderberger, who's had 3 impressive seasons. It remains a Sheffield United player. If he go up, he will be integral to what they've achieved. Benson playing it down the Burnley right-hand side after they won possession back cheaply. Brownhill back for Cullen. Cullen in the heart of the midfield here for Burnley. And he just plays back behind square for Bayer. Bayer to Harwood Bellis. A rare opportunity for him. He's not been in the starting lineup in recent weeks. I mean, Alakdil has been keeping him out. It's a good centre-half partnership between Harwood Bellis and Bayer. And they've just exchanged passes again. Down it comes through the midfield for Maatsen. Maatsen right along the carpet to Roberts. Roberts controlling it with his first touch. Out towards Benson with his second. Benson shown inside, flicks it in left-footed inside the penalty area. The dark-haired thick-set Irish defender John Egan's able to get it away. Then it's whacked into Brownhill and broke back just away from Barnes on the edge of the penalty area. The blade's clear at the second time of asking, but again, it's only temporary respite. Inevitably, Burnley will be able to bring it forward again. Long ball play forward this time, but Egan got in between Barnes and Brownhill to clear.
That's the ball from back to front from Burnley, in between the centre-half and full-back. But you have to have willing runners. Brownhill and Barnes this occasion. Not the quickest 2 players in the Burnley starting 11, I have to say. Well, and also, Jim, they've got to move the ball a bit quicker, Burnley, albeit a lot of possession, but they've given Sheffield United the opportunity to get all their players behind the ball, and then they're saying to them, right, well, come on then, if you can come up with the answers, you will break us down. But at the moment, it's very difficult.
Bulldog clears, out of play for a throw. Harwood Bellis will take it quickly. Kompany again, acting as the ball boy, standing over on the far touchline in his black tracksuit and black baseball cap. Teller Corner of the penalty area, gets it onto his left foot. Oh, it's a good low ball in. Arman Odzic forced to volley it behind. Out of play for another corner in front of the Jimmy McIlroy stand.
Yeah, well, that's better. Moving the ball over to this left-hand side. Nathan Teller this time going on the outside. Tries to whip that ball into the 6-yard area along the ground. Any little ricochet can find its way into that Sheffield United goal.
Those are thoughts of former England defender Mickey Gray as the corner comes in, and a bit of improvisation from Barnes at the near post. Just tried a little flick with his left heel, but it went wide of the near post and out of play for a goal kick that Davis will belatedly take. Don't get me wrong, he's trying the patience of the referee. He's doing his best to take seconds off the clock. I would want my goalkeeper in these circumstances to do exactly the same, but he is testing the patience of the Lancastrian crowd.
Yeah, they have to play the game, Jim. They've got to do it.
Absolutely.
Try and get away with as much as they possibly can. Slow the game down, take the flow out of it, which they've certainly done. Barring that Benson opportunity and Ashley Barnes just a second ago with a neat little flick, they're not causing enough problems, Burnley.
Well, Burgess fouled at Teller, and then Bogle whacks the ball away, and he's going to get a yellow card here for delaying the restart. Sheffield United players go across and protest. Norwood making sure that there weren't too many players in front of the referee at any one time. And Jai was particularly heated, but Bogle's got a yellow card, and Jai's just being told that he's got to be careful with a level of protestation. Norwood acts as the defence counsel, and then it's just the one yellow card for Bogle for whacking the ball away. Free kick to Burnley.
Well, Michael Salisbury's obviously patient, just ran out a little bit, but Bogle did. I think he heard the whistle, then just fired the ball 40 yards down the other end. So that patience, you can hear the crowd getting frustrated because of the time wasting, but Sheffield United have to do it.
Players at the stage of the season now they're past the 37th game where the totting up of yellow cards doesn't matter. You get the 10, you just get a warning, you don't get a suspension, and that's Bogle's 9th of the season. Ball is played down the left hand side. Goodmanson, it was such an inviting ball inside the penalty area, nobody could get there for Burnley. Really good defending from Baldock, made sure that he could sweep up, wasn't panic stricken, he got it away. Out of play for a Burnley throw. Brilliant delivery that from Goodmanson though.
Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Great run from Goodmanson, super ball from the back again from Maatsen. Just in behind that centre half, but didn't even think about it. First time along the ground into the 6-yard area, just looking for somebody to get on the end of it.
Callum Roberts. Now Bayer will bring the ball forward. The German who's got great poise and almost an elegance in possession is still only 21. Player with a massive future ahead of him. Benson feigning to go one side of Baldock, flicked it the other, back for Roberts. Cross comes into a dangerous area. Teller with a good header, keeps it alive. Goodmanson sweeps it in. And right on the hour mark, the 10-man resistance is finally broken. It's a brilliant finish from Goodmanson. His first goal here at Turf Moor for more than 2 years. And it's a goal that propels Burnley a big step closer to the Championship title. Burnley 1, 10-man Sheffield United 0. Hold on to this lead, and they're 5 points away from a coronation.
Oh, what a finish. Listen to that crowd now. It's what they've been hoping for throughout the whole of this game. But again, that patience from Burnley. It's a fantastic ball into the area. Teller just keeps it alive. And Goodmanson just put a wonderful ball into the area. This time he's in the 18-yard box. When that ball comes out to him, you can see a body over the ball, keeps it low, just blasts it towards the goal. And it's a fantastic finish.
Well, he scored at Birmingham and QPR earlier this season. That's his first goal in 21. And it's his first goal here at Turf Moor since he netted against Brighton in the Premier League days. His first goal in 35 matches at home. Off the bench, the really good effect. The 2 changes that Vincent Kompany made at half-time have really done the job. They've been able to turn the screw more in the second half, and Burnley now lead Sheffield United by a goal to 0. And they've got such a good record as well. From 1-0 up this season, they've only lost once when they've scored first, but it was against Sheffield United.
Yeah, and those changes, as you just touched on there, Jim, I certainly think that Burnley needed to make them, but moving that ball quicker from left to right was certainly something that, from where we sat doing the commentary, they needed to do. And when they do it, you see the midfield runners getting themselves into dangerous positions. And when that ball got pulled back to Goodmanson, he's just in the perfect spot. Great play from Teller to keep the ball in play initially. But what a fantastic finish. Crowd erupted. As I said before, it's what we've been waiting for all night.
At the back, Muric can chest the ball down after Maatsen played it back and just rolled it out towards Cullen. That's an excellent crossfield ball from Maatsen. Hardly put a foot wrong all night. Benson inside the penalty area, laid off for Roberts. Roberts urged to shoot, goes back instead for Benson. Benson, Duracell bunnies here, there and everywhere, buzzing around with his low centre of gravity, and everything seems to be a double pace. Brilliant take out of the sky from Teller, great control. Goodmanson helping it in, far post, headed away for a corner before Brownhill could get there. And Sheffield United are under the pump.
And they're turning it on now, Burnley, as if the shackles have been let off, enjoying the football, playing it quicker, trying to get in behind the lines, which they're certainly doing in those wide areas, putting some super balls into the box. And now you're just waiting for willing runners just to try and get in the area. Brownhill this time just leaped above, but again I think it was Baldock with that clearing challenge. Absolutely brilliant. He's worked his socks off this afternoon, certainly has, in that Sheffield United back line.
So another Burnley corner, their third of this second half. 7 inside the penalty area, headed away by Norwood. And Roberts will pick it up. What does it mean for the table as it stands right now? Burnley 90 points from 40. Sheffield United 76 from 40. Luton 71 from 41 after their win earlier today. Middlesbrough 68 from 41. Teller with a ball that's just curved away from the onrushing Brownhill. And it goes through for Davis, who then stumbles. He was desperate to get the ball forward upfield quickly, trying to get Njai in behind Roberts. But he fell over and punted it way off target, straight out of play for a throw to Burnley over on their far side. Burnley will be 5 points shy of winning the title, 6 games to get them. If they can hold on here, as far as Sheffield United are concerned, they would need 11 more points, a maximum of 11, to guarantee promotion. They would be 5 points clear of Luton in third spot with a game in hand. And a reminder, the Blades' next 4 league games, all at home. Cardiff, Bristol City, West Brom, Preston. Then they go to Huddersfield, and they're at Birmingham on the final day. Burnley go to Reading and Rotherham next. Queen's Park Rangers come here. 2 more away games, the local derby at Blackburn, and then they go to Bristol City before they play Cardiff on the last day. They hold on here, it will equal a club record 26 league win this season, or in a season. And if they can take 4 points, if they hold on here, another 4, it will break the club record points haul in a campaign as well. They're just smashing milestones at the park at the moment. They've got possession, and it's played back towards Maatsen. Maatsen in the midfield, out to the right-hand touchline where Cullen, ever dependable, lays it down towards Benson. Benson twisting, turning, pirouetting, and then laying it out towards the right-hand side for Roberts. Roberts with a little injection of pace, back for Benson. It opens up for Maatsen, gets his shot away and fires it just over the bar.
I think that's the only thing that's missing from his performance tonight. Maatsen, Jim, he's been absolutely outstanding on this left-hand side. Rarely given the ball away, but he's always a willing runner, an overlapping runner in that full-back position. He's got bags of energy. I've just seen a replay of that goal as well. How well they do to keep that ball in play. Goodmanson's strike is an absolutely belter, isn't it? Gives the keeper, Davies, absolutely no chance. And that's what this game needed. You know, he was getting a little bit flat, wasn't it? You were just wondering how Burnley were going to break Sheffield United down, but I think they're just starting to run out a little bit of steam.
Johan Goodmanson with the goal right on the hour mark. 44 minutes. Oh, it was oh dear for a moment as the ball was played inside the penalty area for Muric, who had to make a sliding challenge to win it from Njai on the edge of the 6-yard box where there was no margin for error at all. And Njai just couldn't quite get there to be able to flick it past the goalkeeper and put it in for 1-1. Here's Brownhill for Burnley. Get Mickey Gray's views on that incident in a moment, but Brownhill on the front foot for Burnley. Good movement down the touchline from Benson. It comes in towards Barnes. Barnes shepherds it out of the diminutive Belgian, back for Barnes right hand side of the box, and his cross is saved by Davis, but it was the goalkeeper at the other end who was in the thick of the action a few moments ago.
Yeah, and I think, you know, at certain times, Jim, where you're playing against 10 men and you just think you can switch off and play a slack ball back to your goalkeeper. I think it's Howard Bellis in that right back position, and he just doesn't get enough on it. And full credit to Njai, he actually plays that ball back, and when it gets played back, he just closes the goalkeeper down. And on another day, a little nice ricochet that just falls into his path. We're looking at 1-1, and that's what Sheffield United have, in the second half. Yeah, they're playing on scraps. It's very difficult for them to get out, but opportunities like that, they come few and far between. Well, that was a big chance and a bit nervy for the back line of Burnley. I think it was Bayer with the pass back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was certainly a moment that just was a little warning shot as far as Burnley are concerned. A reminder that they haven't got the job done yet. Howard Bellis comes off and Charlie Taylor comes on to replace him. Taylor, who's predominantly played at left back throughout his career, but plays on the left of two centre halves as often as he does at left back these days, and that's the role that he has now. So Bayer has just swapped to the right hand side of the centre halves to accommodate Taylor's arrival. And that's the final Burnley change. They made a double change at half-time. It's Burnley 1, 10-man Sheffield United 0 on Talksport. McBurney with a layoff for the Blades, trying to get themselves back into the game. Berger's done well. And Bogle will come onto it and let fly and miss the target by some distance.
Well, only he can tell us if it was a cross or a shot, Bogle, because they worked it really well, Sheffield United. Using Berger in that midfield area, plays a nice ball out to the right hand side. He's got so much time on his hands. He could have actually taken it into the 18-yard box, but really sloppy end of it.
Burnley will come again. That's the kind of opportunity the Blades are going to have to make the most of if they're going to be able to find a way back into this game. They trail 1-0. Roberts playing it out towards Benson. Benson with a high left-footed ball swung in. Oh, Matson's kept it alive, and he's headed back down, and Goodmanson's done it again. And again they've chased the lost cause, and again Goodmanson is the man, the prophet. He's waited 2 years for a goal at Turf Moor, and he scored twice in 10 minutes. Burnley 2, Sheffield United 0. Get the coronation party started. It's going to happen.
Where the camera's on the goalkeeper, Adam Davis, because as that ball comes into the area, it looks as if there's no threat whatsoever, but as it goes over the top of his head, it's a looping cross into the box. And Burnley, yet again, they've just got players who want the ball more, keeping it in play, and pretty much a similar finish to the first one, I have to say, Jim, from Goodmanson. Super finish, just bangs it down into the ground with a lot of pace. He ain't going to miss from there. A couple of Sheffield United defenders get themselves back on the line, but what are they doing at the back? The goalkeeper's got to do better than that. If you're coming out to pick that ball out of the sky, you've got to take everything. He thought he was going out of play. Well, it wasn't, and it's a great finish again from Goodmanson.
Now it's just a steepling ball towards the back post, and Matson gambled on it falling onto his left foot. Davis made a mess of it, and the rest was history. 2-0. Burnley lead, and the Iceman has come twice. Free kick for an offside here, which Burnley will take. Well, Sheffield United knew that this was not going to be a game that really defined their season. The ones coming up will do that for them, but they know that they're going to go into them needing 11 points from the last 6 games. They will expect potentially that they can get it done over the next 4 with the fixtures that they've got coming up, with no disrespect to the sides that they're facing, but they will want to finish second, that goes without saying. more so because of this poor record that they've had against the teams in the top 6. They haven't won away to any of them. They're only going to have taken 2 points from the 5 games away from home against top 6 opposition. If the season ends with the top 6 being as it is now.
And I also wonder, Jim, with 18 minutes of normal time to go, whether Paul's going to make a rapid changes just to keep his players fresh for those important games that you brought up, because they've been down to 10 men since the 16th, 17th minute, and he's got more important games coming up in the next couple of weeks to try and get them over the line into one of those promotion spots come the end of the season, and I think we're going to get that right now.
Yeah, and Jai's just picked up a yellow card, and it's no surprise to see that his number is the first man up. Billy Sharp is going to come on to replace him, and it will be a triple change here being made by Paul Heckingbottom. And so Sharp, the first man coming on. Sharp on 249 league goals, the most in the English league in the 21st century. He will come on, hoping to add to the 3 that he scored this season. But Burnley's coming off as well, and he's going to be replaced by Will Asula, who has come off the bench in a handful of games so far this season. A 19-year-old Danish striker who spent the first half of the season on loan at Derby. The final change will see Doyle replacing the midfield by Fleck. Billy Sharp's had some career though. 37 he is now. He was a player that was on the score sheet the last win that Sheffield United had here at Burnley. It was 15 years ago in his first spell with the club. Ball is cleared by Bogle. You know what you're going to get with Billy Sharp. He's got 20 minutes to make an impression, and when he does get to 250 league goals,
which he will,
it's just going to be an extraordinary achievement. I don't know that he will get the credit for it. 250 league goals.
It's incredible. It is, and throughout the whole of the leagues, I think, as well, Jim, which is just incredible. You know, I think the ones that you remember are probably the ones that he actually got when Sheffield United jumped into the Premier League. But it seems to be over the last 2 or 3 seasons, you think, right, is it enough now? Has Billy Sharp had his time playing for Sheffield United? But they keep him here because he's a goal scorer, and what an incredible record he has.
Ball has gone out of play. It's a throw which will be taken by Sheffield United on the far touchline there left. They trail by 2-0. Egan down through the midfield is a Burnley player, with the changes having been made, who's gone down injured over on the far touchline inside the Sheffield United technical area after a challenge that was made on him. He was motionless for a moment. He is sitting up now, which is good to see. The Blades have wasted possession, but it's nice to know. Is it Brownhill that's down there, or is it Roberts that's in need of treatment over on the far side? Look, for a moment I thought he might have been knocked out. It was Brownhill. It was just an awkward piece of control. It wasn't actually a collision, but he went down in some pain. But he might not be able to continue in the match, but he is back up on his feet. It could be 10 against 10 for the final 15 minutes or so, because I'm not convinced that they're going to take any risk with him. Having been attended to over on the far touchline, he's going to take his place on the bench over on that far side. So, a glimmer of hope then for Sheffield United. 2 down, but numerical parity restored through no fault of Burnley's. Tanner will bring the ball forward here though for the Clarets. 2 options to his right hand side. Playing in towards Roberts. Little deft layoff from him. Roberts ahead of Benson, who's got it. Benson clipping it in straight into the hands of Davis.
Well, when they start to break Burnley and they go through the gears, it's absolutely fantastic to watch. And now they're down to 10 men themselves. It's going to be very difficult to try and hang on to this lead. I'm sure they've got enough quality in the players that are on the field at the moment, but it's a lifeline a little bit for Sheffield United. Maybe you can try and get themselves back into the game. They are going to make another change, Jim, it looks like it, but yeah, it was unfortunate. No challenge whatsoever. I don't know whether his feet just got caught in the AstroTurf off the pitch, and it was a nasty one.
The ball is played down the left-hand side of the penalty area away from Baldock, and it's out of play for a goal kick that Norwich will take. So the change is going to be made, and Bastian is coming on.
He's number 26, Samuel Bastian.
Samuel Bastien, the Congolese international midfielder, signed from Standard Liège, man who once scored a goal against Arsenal in the Europa League, and he's come on to replace Brownhill.
Yeah, we just hope Josh Brownhill's okay. He was saying his foot just got caught in that AstroTurf where the technical areas are. Looked like he'd hurt his Achilles tendon, went straight down to ground, didn't he, and then off the pitch. It was a change that Burnley had to make. But separated by those 2 goals, 2 brilliant finishes from Goodmanson, and it was all down to the determination of the 2 players who actually kept the ball in play, and just those little pullbacks to Goodmanson, and with his left foot, super finishes.
Burnley heading the ball away. Well, it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the near touchline by Madsen. So Burnley 2, Sheffield United 0 here on Talksport. Goodmanson with a couple of goals in the space of 10 minutes in this second half, and he's shown for the ball now. The throw taken by Madsen. Goodmanson can't control it after Teller chested it back into his part. Teller has stayed down injured for a moment. Might have had his hand trodden on. Bulldog is going to be able to deal with the long ball forward for Sheffield United and get it away. Brought down well over on the far touchline. Sliding challenge from Norwood puts it out. And Burnley will take a throw over on the far side. So Sheffield United down to 10 men for an hour now after Fotheringham's dismissal. Burnley still with a numerical advantage. And he brought Bastien on to replace Brownhill. It's Taylor that's got the ball. And it's 15 yards inside his own half. Played forward by Taylor to Madsen and straight back again. Taylor will take it towards the edge of the centre circle. And Roberts plays it out to the right-hand side. Burnley just maintaining possession, just toying with Sheffield United, really. Play down towards Goodmanson. Goodmanson to Madsen and back for Taylor, the former Leeds defender. Turn forward through the midfield, but not with any accuracy, and Sheffield United have got it back, and Billy Sharp will have the opportunity to run at Madsen. Play down towards Sander Berger on the right-hand side of the penalty area. High, sweeping ball in from Norwood. He ran onto it and really tried to put plenty of whip on it, but it sailed over Asula's head and goes out of play for a goal kick.
And I thought, Burnley should actually just try and manage the game now. Keep this 2-goal deficit, try and hold on to the ball. We know they're capable of doing that with the quality that they've got on the field, but they're still making little silly mistakes, trying to play those balls just around the corner in the midfield area, and that's what Sheffield United are trying to capitalise on. But this time it falls to Billy Sharp. I thought he had the chance to put the ball in the box himself, but he wanted to play it out wide. Just having a look in that box, there's no real player for him to aim at, so you can understand why they're trying to play it out in these wide positions. But when they have done, on a couple of occasions in this second half, been really scrappy with the crosses into the box.
Just over 10 minutes to go. Taylor's in possession. Now we'll be able to bring the ball forward here for Burnley. Played out to the Clarence right-hand side. Bastien through the midfield. It's a good ball down towards Teller, who's caught the eye again. Teller running to the bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area. Checks back onto his right foot, sets it up. Roberts then sends Benson wider than he wanted it. He's still going to be able to bring the ball under control and get it in. It's laid back by him through the midfield again. Burnley continue just to toy with Sheffield United here. So they're waiting in space on the Burnley left. Taking towards the edge of the penalty area. And then stopping, laying it back for Madsen. The Olays are out from a section of the Burnley support now. Taylor's got it on halfway. Burnley leading 2-0. Madsen back for Taylor. And Taylor will safely send it back to his goalkeeper, Muric.
Yeah, and I said about managing the game, we're now into the final 10 minutes, Jim, and I think that's exactly what we're going to see from Burnley. It's in the DNA to go and try and get the third goal, which they're trying to do right now as I'm speaking, but don't give Sheffield United a sniff. Just keep the ball off them as much as you possibly can.
There's another long ball sent forward through the midfield. Teller brought it under control brilliantly. He then has kicked the ball away after the whistle has gone. That was what Bogle did in the first half, or earlier in this half, should I say. Got a yellow card for it. But Teller will escape one there. The Blades are going to make their final change. Sander Berger is the player that's going to come off here, and Chris Basham is going to come on and replace him, a man hoping to win his third promotion with the Blades. It's 380th game for the club. Basham, very versatile, is going to come on, far from just being a man who only plays at centre half, and he's going to drop into the midfield here, replacing Berger, a like-for-like swap with 8 minutes of normal time to go. That's the fifth and final change for the Blades. Basham making his way forward down the right-hand touchline, looking for a Sula. Taylor can take it down towards the corner flag and play it safely forward for Goodmanson. Goodmanson bringing it forward towards halfway. Ball skids through the centre of midfield. Good run down the right-hand side came from Bastian, but it's played instead towards Benson. Benson laying it back for Cullen. Cullen bringing it forward into the heart of the Sheffield United midfield. The Blades still struggling to create any worthwhile opportunities against the 11 men of Burnley. Blades down to 10. Chipped over the top towards Teller, who's controlled it. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Teller going for goal, and Davis just had to throw a right hand up at it and help it on its way over the bar for a corner.
Yeah, very cheeky there from Nathan Teller. Lovely little ball over the top, and he finds himself again in a 1v1 situation, this time with his left foot. I thought he was in a better position just to play that across the 6-yard area and wait for somebody just to tap it in the back of the net, but he gets enough power on it to ask the question from Adam Davis in that Sheffield United goal. Only now got themselves a corner. They're playing some nice football, Jim. I think it's been a better second half. Has it been more open? They've certainly asked more questions.
Goodmanson, the man that scored the 2 goals, sends this corner in. He's headed down into the ground, and it bounced up into a forest of Sheffield United legs, and is cleared. That was a really good opportunity for Burnley to get their third. It was Connor Roberts that came forward and attacked it, just powered a header into the ground, as opposed to maybe sending it either side of the nearest defender and into the net past Davis. Cullen, collision off the ball, referee spotted it, play goes on. Barnes with a little step over, breaks for Benson, he will feed Maatsen. Maatsen with a straight ball forward, the play down towards Teller on the edge of the D. A prodigious chaser of lost causes. He's then fouled his man, and a free kick has gone John Fleck's way.
Oh, well, what a chance for Connor Roberts. As that ball comes into the area, there's pretty much nobody anywhere near him, and his eyes just lit up. Goodmanson it is with the corner, and as he's running in, you're just waiting for him just to fire that one towards goal, but he leaps too quick, and he has to head it down into the ground and then loses all the power in the header. And you could see he looked up to the sky afterwards. He was absolutely devastated because that was a big chance for Roberts.
Coming up after us tonight, you can hear the sports bar here on Talksport. So much to react to. Another thrilling day of EFL and National League action. And your chance to react with the boys coming up at 10 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow morning, Talksport Breakfast returns from 6. Laura Woods alongside Ray Parler tomorrow. Carl Cole joins them from 8, and Stuart Pearce on the show as well to look ahead to tomorrow night's live game as Manchester City take on Bayern Munich live on Talksport. It's Talksport Breakfast tomorrow from 6 with Laura Woods and Ray Parler. Egan gives it away in the midfield, having done well to initially win it back. He just presented it to Cullen. Now it's played out towards Benson. Roberts, who could have added an assist to the 2 goals for Goodmanson a few moments ago. Basham is there to volley it away. Half-time substitute and man of the match. Well, the sponsor's man of the match, and easy to see why. 2 excellent finishes, but he's knitted it all together since coming on, and the balance has been improved in the second half for the Clarets after the 2 changes of the break.
And it just shows the squad that Burnley have, Jim, that they can bring on the quality that they got of Goodmanson and certainly Manuel Benson over on that right-hand side. They've got quality. So if the starting 11 are not coming up with the answers, then they just look towards the bench and they can bring on the quality that they've got. And you need that. In a long championship season, you certainly need those talented players in all forward areas. with a bit of steel up there with Ashley Barnes. Jay Rodriguez has played his part this season, there's no doubt about that. I think that is the last that we're going to see of Ashley Barnes, or is it Teller who's actually going off right now? Yeah, it is. He's had a decent night, got better in the second half. I think his quality needs to improve in the second 45 minutes, and certainly did that.
So Teller comes off, and his one-time Southampton teammate Michael Obafemi comes on to replace him. Obafemi, who has signed for Burnley on loan from Swansea, and the Irish international will come on for his 10th substitute appearance in the 11 games that he's played for the Clarets. He has got a couple of goals for the club. Teller leaving the field quite slowly, and Obafemi on to replace him for the last 3 minutes plus stoppage time, where Burnley lead Sheffield United by 2 goals to 0. Davis will take a free kick for the Blades. Clears it right-footed towards the edge of the penalty area. It is a night where Sheffield United have only had 2 attempts on goal, both off target. And that's been it. It's been the sum total of it. They started the game so brightly as well. First 15 minutes until the red card, they were excellent. Crowd again appreciating the good work of Benson. It's a brilliant turn, and then eventually just lost his balance. He thought he was fouled. Burnley fans thought he was fouled as well. I just think he tried to do too much. It was a great run. He was struggling to keep his feet, and eventually lost that battle. When the whistle does go, it's Willis Sula that wins the free kick for Sheffield United.
I think it was the right call, Jim. Manuel Benson's absolutely brilliant again on that right-hand side. Just gets away from his marker and just goes through the gears. His pace was brilliant, but he got to a point where he had to run through 2 Sheffield United players and just basically lost his balance. And you could sense the frustration in the stadium because Sheffield United then go up the other end and win a bit of a cheap foul themselves, which gives them the chance to put this ball in the box.
2 to go. In comes the free kick towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's brought down. It's an opportunity coming in on the turn. Sharp's effort was blocked. Sheffield United recycle it, and Norwood plays it in. Basham coming around the back, volleying it towards the far post, and a really good defensive header puts it away for a corner before Sharp could put it in for 2-1.
Yeah, it's good play from Sheffield United on 2 occasions. The ball falling to the right man initially, and Billy Sharp, but he has to snatch at his shot. But the second time that ball comes into the air, it's Sharp who's involved again, and he just shoves. I'm trying to see who that is who was just shoved to the ground, but that is poor from Billy Sharp.
Cullen, I think, was the player that did well to concede the corner. And Sheffield United now have a throw, which has been won by Basham. Or has it gone out of play for another corner? Bogle is just going to come forward to take it. It is a throw. About 3-4 yards from the corner flag. Bogle with the ball in his hand, preparing to launch it inside the penalty area. He's waving his teammates further, deeper into the penalty area. It's taken a little near post flip from Odzic, and is very comfortably claimed by Ari Muric, whose 15th clean sheet of the season is only a few moments away now. 25 seconds plus stoppage time. We didn't play much stoppage time at the end of the first half, not as much as we were anticipating. And how much will it be that separates Burnley from yet another win? Madsen, long ball forward, headed down at the back by Egan, and brought forward by Norwood through the midfield for Sheffield United. Now they've been gained tonight, and they've still got it with Chris Basham. He's played it back towards the edge of the penalty area, but Burnley had enough bodies back to be able to deal with it. And then Obafemi down by the corner flag can bring it away, so we're going to 3 minutes added time. Cullen for Burnley. He's with time to survey his options. Exchange a couple of passes with Connor Roberts. Played back towards the edge of the penalty area again. And now Muric will control it, and the Kosovan goalkeeper plays it out. Here's Charlie Taylor. Taylor out towards Bayer. And Bayer, 5 yards in from the right-hand touchline, will lay it back to his goalkeeper. Before the game, Mickey, you said that you felt that Burnley would be champions and Sheffield United would go up with them in second place. Has anything you've seen tonight changed your mind?
Well, it's quite difficult to judge, Jim, isn't it, when your side go down to 10 men after 16 minutes. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. I think Sheffield United have got enough to stay in that second spot. I think it is going to be difficult now for Luton and Middlesbrough to catch them.
Here's Obafemi, left-hand side of the penalty area for Burnley, who are going to extend their unbeaten streak here at Turf Moor to 24. Their longest in more than a century. Shot comes in from distance. Goodmanson on a hat-trick, but it was beaten away by Davis, who tipped it wide of the near post.
Well, why not? When you've scored two crackers like Goodmanson scored tonight, taking that shot from about 20 yards out. See Davis just trying to shuffle across to his right-hand side. He'd seen it late. There was a few bodies in front of him, but again, it's a great strike from Goodmanson.
Goodmanson takes the corner, flicked on at the near post by Barnes, hoisted clear by Fleck, who's saying that he had no shout from a teammate, and he might have been able to bring that down and take it upfield, but volleyed it clear. There was no one around it. There's a throw taken quickly, taken on by Bassin inside the penalty area, but Ballbox won it back for the Blades, and then probably lost it again, and it just rolled over the byline before Benson could get a cross in. He'd done well to win it back. It has gone out of play for a goal kick, and we're in the last knockings here at Turf Moor. Burnley leading by 2 goals to 0. There's another big step towards the title.
Yeah, absolutely. That's them on 90 points now. Still chasing down 108 points, which is brilliant for Vincent Kompany and his side. I don't think tonight's game would have defined win or lose for Sheffield United. It would have been nice for them to get the double over Burnley, but those 4 home games, Jim, that you mentioned before, I think that's where they're possibly going to get the job done, the points that they need to get them in that second spot.
Barnes playing it forward, away from Obafemi. It goes through the goalkeeper Davis, and the full-time whistle goes. Well, they sealed promotion on Friday, and whilst nothing has been mathematically achieved tonight, Burnley have taken another massive step towards the championship title for 2023. 6 games left. They only need another 5 points after beating the side who proved themselves with the best of the rest tonight, and a little bit of revenge for the 5-2 shoeing that they took at Bramall Lane earlier this season. West Fotheringham sent off for Sheffield United. The Blades down to 10 men for the vast majority of the game. It took until the hour mark for substitute Goodmanson to break the deadlock for Burnley, and in a second, 10 minutes later, the records continue to fall. A 26th win of a league season, something that Burnley have only ever achieved once before. The club points tally very much in danger now. The existing record of 93, they only need another 4 to beat that, and the celebrations for Vincent Kompany's 37th birthday will go on long into the night. Burnley played 40, points 90, and the title is on its way to Turf Moor. They've beaten Sheffield United tonight by 2 goals to 0.